Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the KSL Stream Center. I'm your host, Shara Park. We get to have some fun today. We are on the countdown to the Milano Cortina 2026 Olympics in Italy. The Winter Games returning to Europe, the birthplace of alpine skiing in just under 365 days. I believe we're at 360 right now. We've got over 2,900 athletes that will be gathering in this beautiful country of Italy to put on these games. And we are so lucky that we have our very own Alex Cabrero, who is joining us live from Italy right now. First of all, hi, Alex. Tell us, okay, you're 8 hours ahead right now.
That's right. 8 hours ahead in Europe over here in Italy. And I'm in Milan actually right now, which is where opening ceremony will be for the 2026 Winter Olympics a year from now. And it's one of the host cities. The other one, of course, Cortina, which is 5 hours away in the mountains. This is definitely going to be a spread out Olympics. Logistics will certainly be a challenge, but there's a lot of construction going on, and everything that we keep hearing is that they're certainly going to be ready.
Okay, so tell me what you're doing over there. How did all of a sudden I looked around the
Yeah,
newsroom and somebody said, "Oh no, Alex is in Italy right now." First of all, you
right.
are the Olympic specialist here at KSL. This is going to be your what, eighth, ninth Olympics?
Ninth. If I'm chosen to go to
Oh,
the
come
Italy
on.
Olympics by KSL, it'll be my ninth. If I'm lucky enough to be chosen, it will be ninth. But no, what we're doing out here is to mark the 1 year occasion, Shara, and we're doing stories as with NBC, with some of the affiliate groups across the country, just to build the excitement for the game. So what we did over the past few days is we toured different venues in the mountains in Cortina. We toured different venues down here in Milan. We're finding stories, chatting with restaurant owners who are excited to be at the Olympics. There's one pizza shop owner that I found who has pizzas named after athletes who are regular customers. So he had a Ted Ligety pizza and a Lindsey Vaughn pizza. Of course, Ted from Park City, he's one of ours. So we did a little story with him that'll air later on KSL. But it's also visiting like the speed skating venue, the ice hockey venue, the alpine
Mhm.
ski venue, just seeing where construction is with the certain venues here and how far along they are for the 1 year out anniversary. One venue that everybody's talking about is the sliding track venue in Cortina, where the bobsled luge and skeleton events will take place. That one is still being constructed,
Mhm.
and everybody's wondering, will it be ready? If not, will they go to Austria? Will they go to Switzerland? Will they go to
Mhm.
Lake Placid, New York? That was on the list of possibilities if that track isn't ready. We tried to get into that venue to take some pictures, but of all the places we had permits for, that was the one that was denied. So they are definitely keeping everybody else out because they just want to, get into high gear and get that thing finished.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing about these Olympics, okay, Alex, when we talk about the Milano Cortina, we've got Italy hosting
Yeah.
for a third time. So, one of the draws to coming back to Italy was the fact that they are going to reuse a lot of their facilities. And that was a selling point for these Olympics.
Right, sustainability in Italy is a very big deal. Kind of look what we had in Utah. Big selling point for the 2034 Olympics is that we could use all of our venues again. We don't have to build anything new. Italy is building a few venues here and there, but for the most part, they are reusing venues and existing facilities that they already have. Sustainability, we heard that from quite a few people we spoke with. As far as why Italy, I think it's because it's when they were chosen 7 years ago, it's comfortable. There are a lot less countries right now able to host a Winter Olympics just because of lack of snow. So in the mountains of Cortina, there is some snow, but right now a majority of it is artificial snow. When we were there was certainly a whole lot of snow up in the mountains, but not as much in the town of Cortina like what you might think a Winter Olympics should look like. I mean, it is winter here, of course, and we just didn't see a whole lot of snow in the town, but up in the mountains there was a lot of snow. So the fact that Italy just had Torino in 2006, I think it was just a comfortable decision by the International Olympic Committee to award the 26 games to Cortina simply because it's comfortable and they know that they can pull it off.
I love that. Okay, so some of the things I want to read here, I gathered off the Olympic site. Sustainability initiatives, 100% renewable energy, using the existing infrastructure, water footprint measurement. They're doing all these things to make the games more sustainable, not only in the current games but in the future games as well. But Alex, one thing I want to talk about is maybe you can touch on this a little bit, is just how many different events there will be that we're looking at some gender equality here. 47%. What was the statistic I read here? 47% of the athletes will be female in these games. More female athletes than they have ever had in an Olympic Games before. That's incredible.
It is incredible. And that's something, just coming here before I was chatting with you, Cher, about an hour ago, we were down at the Duomo in downtown Italy, one of the iconic landmarks there. And we were chatting with Erin Jackson, who won the gold medal in the Beijing Olympics. She lives in Salt Lake City, as well as Jalen Koff, who won silver in the moguls in Beijing. She also trains out of Park City as well and just won the World Cup event at Deer Valley. Both
Hmm.
females, and both of them very proud that females are more represented in these games. A lot more, women's sports everywhere are becoming more popular and getting more recognition. We see it with Caitlin Clark with
Hmm.
Iowa and the Indiana Fever and the WNBA, and we're just seeing women's sports maybe being more appreciated than they ever have been before, where fans who are taking the times to watch these sports are like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? They're enjoying it. I hear often, especially with basketball, that it's a more pure sport when you watch female sports. It's not maybe playing above the rim in basketball or domination like that. That it's more what the sport was intended to be. So certainly with the Olympics, it's becoming more and more popular. I mean, women's gold medal hockey match. Usually it's Canada versus USA. That's usually one of the biggest selling points of an Olympics is the women's gold
Yeah.
medal match. And of course, you have gymnastics is a huge sport. Figure skating will be a huge sport for women. So yeah, you're absolutely right. We're seeing more and more women taking part, and the two athletes we interviewed today recognize that and are proud that they are getting the recognition maybe women's sports didn't get 15, 20, 25 years ago.
I love it. As a former athlete who once dreamed of competing in the Olympics in volleyball, I love seeing our female athletes doing so well. Hey, Alex, tell me a little bit about your journey over there. So you said you've been there for about how long? You've seen these different venues. What has really stood out to you?
Yeah, we left Salt Lake City on Wednesday. We started in Venice. That's just the closest airport to get to Cortina up into the mountains. So we spent the night in Venice. Then we all gathered up all the different affiliates and shuttle vans, and we went up to Cortina. It was about 2 hours from Venice, 2, 3 hours maybe. We spent a couple of days in Cortina looking at the different venues up there. Then we spent 5 hours getting here to Milan. We've been in Milan about 2 days now. What really stood out to me, honestly, is how widespread these games are going to be. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, when you look distance wise from Milan to Cortina, it's 250 miles. It'd be like having Salt Lake City hosting the main events and a lot of the events happening in Cedar City. But
Wow.
time wise, because it's taking about 5 hours, then you're looking at maybe Mesquite from Salt Lake City, where a lot of these venues are going to take place when you look at time comparison. So I think the biggest thing that's standing out to me right now is the logistics are going to be very tricky. And Cortina doesn't have a whole lot of hotels or places for athletes to stay. You're talking about athletes, their families, coaches, staff, media, fans. That's what's standing out to me the most is how they're going to pull this off logistically. When we had the Beijing Olympics in 2022, of course, COVID was going on, so fans couldn't get there. You know what I mean? Family and friends couldn't be at the stands, so
Mm-hmm.
that was easy. You know what I mean? As far as just athletes and coaches and staff, but this is going to be very logistically challenging just because of the amount of people that need to get up into the mountains, and it's going to be tricky.
When I think about that, the logistic part of this, that was one thing that Lindsey Vaughn, in pitching our own Olympic Games here in 2034, as a family representative and someone who can speak for those families, that was very important in our own games, is making sure families
Yeah.
had a place to stay, those who have supported these athletes all the way up until this big moment in their life that they need to be there. And so, yeah, that will be interesting to see how they accommodate all of that. Alex, tell us some of the other stories that you'll be bringing back to us that we're excited to see.
Yeah, one story that I'll have on KSL News tonight is we went to this one lake in Cortina, just a regular old lake, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's frozen now, of course, snow on top of it. But back in 1956 is when Cortina hosted the Olympics. Previously, that was where speed skating was held on this frozen lake. It's the last time, as I understand, that natural water, frozen water, was ever. What am I trying to say? Yeah, natural water was ever used for the speed skating event. Now they're all indoors and ice rinks and things like that. But this was actually on a frozen pond. It's the last time that's ever happened. So that story, I got to do a little bit of that and visit this lake. That story will run tonight on KSL TV. I did a story on the drive to Cortina. I did a story on an old ski jump in Cortina that was built for the 1956 Olympics. It was supposed to be for the Olympics in the 40s, but World War II kind of got in the way, as it did for most everything on the planet. And so it was pushed off, but it was built for those Olympics. Then it was used in the 1956 Winter Olympics. We went to a curling venue in Cortina as well. There's an athlete there. He's 23 years old. He's from Cortina, and he remembers when Cortina was awarded the Olympics. He said it was the biggest day in that small town. Now he's hoping to make the curling team. The Italian athlete now, just from doing that interview. So those stories here in Milan, we visited the hockey rink, as I said. We visited the short track speed skating rink, the figure skating rink. So really, it's a lot of going around, visiting the venues, and talking with organizers just about where they are and how excited they are for the games that are now 1 year away.
That is very exciting. I love that we get to ramp up and see the behind the scenes action because we are an
Yeah,
Olympic city here in Utah, in Salt Lake, and
absolutely.
we love the Olympics here. And it's fun to talk about them and get excited, knowing that we're going to host our own Olympics here, not too far off into the distance. Though we still have some time, I will say that. Alex, one thing I learned when working in Olympic Games with you, when you and I were in Tokyo, you love
Yes.
to find some of the unique places to eat. And I'm just going to call you out on
Yes.
it
Unique.
because very, very unique. Have you found
I
your
know what
most
you're going to say.
unique? Have you found it?
I had probably one of the better tasting Big Macs I've maybe ever had just a couple of nights ago. Yes, of course I found the McDonald's. You know I love McDonald's. I'm not going to lie. A lot of my buddies tease me all the time about McDonald's, and yes, I know. It's a shame, and people might be shutting this off right now or saying
Nope.
not nice things about me.
The
But
the
no,
best
we also
burger.
had Italian food.
No, no, no. I gotta say this. So when we were in Tokyo, I still crave the hamburgers that were delivered from McDonald's because they were just better in
Oh,
Tokyo.
oh. And especially when we were all shut down in Tokyo, we couldn't really go
We couldn't
anywhere.
go
So
anywhere.
McDonald's delivered, right? We were fine. But no, with our NBC group, we did go to some restaurants here in Milan and in Cortina. I did have pasta and meatballs and
All the good
the
stuff.
margarita pizza here. I had all the good stuff. And the Italian food, I love Italian food. It's absolutely amazing. But no,
Yeah.
sure, this Big Mac was amazing too. So
Of course
yes,
it
it
was.
was pretty good.
Of course, it is always my favorite post when you get to a new country and you show us that you found the McDonald's and you are solid. You're good. I
And people, a lot of people get mad at that, and
no,
I get it. And
no,
part of it I do just to make fun, just to pick fun at it. So
no. It's
yes, got to
it's
have my McDonald's
endearing.
fix.
It's endearing. I love that about you,
Thank you,
Alex.
thank you.
Alex,
I'll
if
bring you
you
back
wanted,
some.
thank you. By the way, well, let's just say this. What would be your lasting message there from Italy, from what you've seen so far? We still are a year out. Like I said, I think we're 360 days. For some that might say, why are we talking about this now? What would you want your lasting message to be from Italy with what you've seen so far about these Olympic Games that will be coming?
Yeah, sure. I think the answer to that is just in gosh, in unifying us. You know what I mean? I think with divided as things are right now, especially in the United States, this is a moment where we can stop being divided and just come together for the athletes. Doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat or what you believe in or anything. We can cheer for our American athletes to bring home a medal or to do their best. And I think that's the message in the past few Olympics, especially with this one, is just look, let's take a break from all the negativity and division and just celebrate our athletes and people who have dedicated their lives to training to be the best at something that they do. So that's something I always enjoy about the Olympics is that when fans are cheering in the stands or they're cheering at home, they don't care about politics of anything at that point for the most part. It's just seeing the best in humanity at a certain sport. And I think that's going to be maybe the lasting thing that at least I have right here right now is that when you're talking to locals and they know English very well here, it's just that they say the same thing. It's just cheering for their hometown athletes, cheering for their country athletes, and just putting the rest of that negativity aside for a little bit, and just you know
Yeah,
being patriot, being a patriot for your country,
yeah.
coming around sports.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
trying to say? Yeah.
I'll echo that because I just from my own experience covering Tokyo, I remember going there with all the confusion and chaos of a COVID Olympics, but then feeling that
Right.
atmosphere the minute you get there and you see
Yes.
the pride from all these different athletes and from the community that is hosting those games and how excited they are to show off, what they are proud of. That was the lasting impression I
Right.
got from covering an Olympics. And I
Right.
think each time it brings that back up and we need to remember that feeling. So that's what this is. It's
Yes.
getting excited. It's remembering that this is coming. We have this to look forward to, and there's going to be a lot of stories and amazing moments to celebrate here in our future. So Alex Cabrero joining us live from Italy. Thank you for your time. I know we are
Thanks, Shara.
worlds apart right now, and you are 8 hours ahead, and you're getting ready to wind down for the day. But we appreciate you joining us here in the KSL Stream Center. Alex, thank you.
See you soon, Shara. Take care.
Okay, we'll see ya. That is so fun. Oh, that's so fun to talk to Alex. He is so talented and such an amazing journalist. He's covered these games like nobody has ever covered Olympic Games, in my opinion, because he brings so many great local stories back to us here in Utah. So you can catch all of Alex's coverage on KSL News. We've got some of his stories up there right now over on KSLTV.com. You can start watching those and then catch him in our evening newscasts as well. And we look forward to all the stories that he's going to bring us there from that country, and look forward to hearing more about his adventures with his different food options there in the process. I tease him about the McDonald's thing, but it's true. When I was in Tokyo, McDonald's top notch, great food, but it's always nice to have something comforting from back home. So we appreciate Alex. We love him. And we hope you guys get excited for the games as well. Just under a year until the Milano Cortina 2026 games there in Italy. So thanks for being with us. Leave a message for Alex in the comments. I'm sure he'd love to read them. And we'll see you over on KSL 5 News at noon.